It's a robust prediction. We don't do things like true and false because observations can be inaccurate.
Is that true?
Yes.
You just said you don't deal in things that are true or false, and you said that's true.
Okay, minor slip of the tongue. They seem to be remarkably robust.
No, it's an inconsistent theology is the problem. You said we don't deal in true or false.
It's an inconsistent theology that builds civilizations, whereas religion is an inconsistent philosophy that doesn't produce anything.
Again, we'll cover that another time.
No, we'll cover it now.
What you just said is...
No. My turn now. You tell me what are the great scientific advances that have been directly as a consequence of your theology?
Of believing in God and believing that there is a natural order to things?
No, from your God. I mean, this is the thing. You can talk to God, yeah?
I say that again?
Can you talk to God?
Yes, I can talk to God.
Does God talk to you?
Through His revealed word and through nature, yes, He does.
Okay. So
have I ever heard the voice of God? No.
You have access to, according to you, the greatest source of knowledge. Someone who you would say does know everything.
But you don't even know that there's such a thing as knowledge.
And yet, all the prayers of all the Christians in the world couldn't reveal the GPS coordinates of Bin Laden. Now, that sums up the predictive capability of religion versus Washington, D.C., right? Right?
Now you're making a false analogy, and I think you understand that. You can't just say that. I mean, but...
Well, okay, give me prayer. You think it works, yeah?
Do I think prayer works?
Yeah.
I know prayer works, yes. But it's according to what God desires, not what I desire.
Pray and tell me how much change I have in my pockets.
Again, that's a misunderstanding of prayer, isn't it?
And this is because...
Is that a biblical definition of prayer?
Because fundamentally, when you pray to God, you can get no useful information from it.
This coming from a man that says information may not even exist?
This is redundant. Yeah, right?
But you said information may not even exist.
Even if I was wrong about everything, that doesn't justify what you've just said.
If you're wrong about everything, how do you know that it doesn't justify what I just said? Do you understand the flawed logic there?
Even if I am wrong about everything that I said, that does nothing to justify your position, which is what we're talking about. You cannot just sort of say, whenever it becomes clear and transparent that your position is untenable, but he has no color coordination in his clothes. Right? That does not justify your position.
You didn't say
this is what, right? You claim that you can pray to God and that actually gets you information, yeah?
Is that true or false that happens?
No, I am asking your opinion. You are the Christian. You're the guy.
And I told you, yes, I believe prayer works. Now, am I right or wrong? Is that true or false? Is that false that prayer doesn't work?
We're actually dealing at the moment. We'll move on to your question later. But first of all, I want to deal with what information flow is there between God and mankind.
But I'm talking to somebody who...
No. Answer the question. Is there any information flow between God and mankind?
Absolutely, yes.
Name it.
God's Word, the Bible.
No, something that you have prayed for that has actually deployed knowledge from God to mankind.
I would say all knowledge is from God to mankind, and I'll explain that. I'll go back to my analogy. Unless we have somebody, hang on, I got the mic. Unless we have somebody that has all knowledge and cannot lie, reveal things to us, I'm stuck in your position, which says, I don't even know if I exist.
Well, you don't.
No, that's your claim. You're saying I don't know everything, and yet you're saying that I don't know anything. You're making a knowledge claim.
No. I mean, for you to actually make the assumption that you've just done, you've got to assume that God actually exists, that He created a universe, that you're in that universe, and then you go back to then everything makes sense. You've made far more assumptions than I have, none of which you can sustain.
Now, I'm saying again, without the God that knows everything, we wouldn't know anything, which is exactly what you're saying.
Right, so you actually have a model that can't predict anything. I have a model that builds civilization.
Your model says this world may not even exist.
Yeah.
That's not a consistent model. You don't live your life by that model.
Yeah, I do.
You live as if this world doesn't exist.
It's necessary.
So you live as if this world may not even exist.
Yeah.
Does that not sound really, really weird to you? Because I guarantee you, when you're eating food, you're not going, you know what? this thing may not even exist, but I'm going to eat it anyway.
Well, until you actually come out with a way of actually proving that you exist and that reality exists, without just assuming, please take it away. Show me that the universe. Show me by some observation that is completely independent of anything else that the universe exists.
Without God, we can't know anything at all.
But you assumed that the universe exists.
How do you know I've even assumed that?
Well, we're talking about your.
You don't even know that we're talking right now.
We've covered this one as well.
I know, and it's inconsistent for you to be arguing with me when you're saying we might not exist.
So, okay, let's just assume that I'm wrong on everything. It's now down to you. It's now down to you to actually demonstrate that there's actually a universe. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, without God, we can't even have knowledge. We couldn't know anything without God.
Demonstration of the universe existing.
Sure, yeah, we're here. This is a demonstration of the universe existing. Without God, we can't know anything.
It seems to be a fairly robust delusion, but you've not actually demonstrated anything. You've just assumed it and said, well, therefore the universe exists.
No, yeah, I've started with God and said, without God.
You started with God. You
right.
can't even show that the universe exists, and you've assumed something that is certainly more ethereal than reality.
No, you're the one saying reality may not exist.
No. We're not talking about me. We're talking about you, remember. We're talking about you actually having to demonstrate. Oh, this is pointless. Let's go back to something useful, because this is basically a discussion.
Well, here's kind of the. This is my. Here's the conclusion of Thunderfoot.
No.
We don't.
I get to make. You don't.
Would you
don't
agree
get to sum up
with Thunderfoot
what I said?
You already agreed with this, so you tell me if I'm right or wrong. We don't know that we exist. Reality may not be real.
Well, what was it? It's Eric.
It's Eric.
Eric can't demonstrate that reality exists, right?
I believe I can, and I believe I have.
No, you've just asserted it.
But you don't know that because you don't know anything.
No, we're not talking about what I think. We're talking about what you think.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
Right? So your proof that the universe exists is, well, you can't prove it doesn't. Do you see that this is not a terribly useful way about going?
Here's the problem. Somebody that says I could be wrong about everything, in other words, I don't know anything, and then says...
Look, just cut to the chase. Give me the independent observation that shows that the universe exists.
Somebody that says I could not know anything and then says, how do you... Hold it. We're already... For somebody to say I could be wrong about everything and then say that they know something or ask me even to speak a language, even to talk, even to open your mouth is inconsistent.
So your proof that the universe exists is your belief system is inconsistent.
How about this? Does everybody's...
Just answer the question. Look, stop answering every question with, yeah, but your belief system's inconsistent. This is irrelevant. We're talking about your belief system.
Right.
You know, that God you pray to.
So are you giving up atheism?
No. Pray to him now. Ask him, show me that the universe exists by some completely independent thing. Show me that there is no possibility that I could be wrong.
So you're giving up atheism?
Look, we're talking about your religion.
But you don't even know if we're talking right now.
Religion. Okay, I've made my basal assumptions, right? And you're actually, I've been honest. I've said the assumptions that I've made. You've not been honest.
Yeah.
You keep answering every question with, I don't like your belief system. Right?
I've never said that. I've never said that.
Yes, you have. You've been doing it for the last 20 minutes.
No, I've said, here's what you believe.
So, I assume that the universe exists.
But you don't know it.
That's why it's called an assumption.
Right.
How many times have I said that?
Man, we could count.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So why do you keep asking me the exact same question?
It's not it was just making a statement. It wasn't a question.
Right. Redundant, yeah? The universe exists. Do you contest this assumption? Do you even contest it's an assumption?
I don't contest that the universe does exist. What I contest is the basis for that. You're the one who says it may not me. That's your claim. What I should be doing is asking you, do you contest this assumption? You're the one who contests that assumption.
We're now on point one. We're just assuming, I assume the universe exists.
and I know it exists. You're the one who doesn't give me a foundation for that.
In which case, I got this done, right? I know that the universe exists. I know that God doesn't exist. Right, I've disproved your religion. Are you now going to become an atheist?
Obviously not, because that's not a disproof.
No. I know with absolute certainty, right? I know with absolute certainty that God doesn't exist.
But
right?
You just said you could be wrong about everything.
I've changed my mind, right? So,
ladies and gentlemen, an atheist has repented and changed his mind. I'm impressed with that. Let me ask you this. Is everybody's thinking...
No, I've just disproved your religion. I would have thought you would have been putting up a more robust defense than this.
No.
I just told you that God doesn't exist.
What you did to do that is you gave up atheism in order to do that.
No.
Because atheism says we don't know.
I've just told you I know that God doesn't exist,
and you have to give up atheism to do that because you just said you could be wrong about everything.
No, well, actually, I would have said that's more practical models of utility about reality type thing. But this is completely redundant. I've just proved to you that you're wrong about asserting that God exists.
You gave up atheism to do that.
I know that God doesn't exist. Hang on.
Now, this coming from somebody...
Are you actually saying to a man who has just told you that I know God exists, that you're not an atheist?
Yeah, because just a minute ago... I'm holding you.
Understand what an atheist is?
Somebody who says God does not exist.
I have just told you that I know that God does not exist, and you just said that.
Right after you said you don't know anything.
You said.
Does this make sense?
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
No, you understand that I have just told you that there is no God.
But you don't know that.
And now you're telling me that I gave up atheism to do it.
Because in order to know anything, you must believe in God, which is what God says. That's what he says in Romans chapter 1. Everybody knows that he exists. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
In which case you just disproved your own religion. Because it's fundamentally wrong. Everything that we see around us is delivered by science, not by religion, not by your God. It's delivered by men working, by working out how reality functions.
But you don't know that.
Well, how many times have you asked me this question?
Many, because you're making claims here. You're saying I know something.
The same answer every time. This is like whatever, people banging their head against the wall, right? We've answered that, okay?
We've answered that.
You're not going to ask me the same question 15 times again, yeah?
Well, there's nothing wrong with asking a question 15 times again. Hey guys, we're videotaping. Heads up, man. We've established that you don't know anything. And now you're telling me you know things.
Whoa. No, we established that God doesn't exist.
No, we've established that you said you could be wrong about everything.
Show this for what it is.
What? Oh.
Show this exchange for what it is.
Look.
Descend to the level that they descend to.
Yeah, look, it's simple. You just assert that you have knowledge of reality. I can assert that just as easily, right? The thing is, that serves no functional purpose whatsoever. Right? What does serve a functional purpose is forming models about reality.
Without even knowing that reality is real? I believe reality is real.
What
you don't.
Less than a minute ago. What did I say less than a minute ago? Stop repeating the same things that you've done time and time again.
How many times have you repeated the same things you've done time and time again? That's not, you can't say don't argue this way. Or what you're saying right there is stop pointing out that I don't know anything. That's what you're saying right now.
But that's not what I said.
You did. You said I could be wrong about everything I know.
Well, that's knowledge in itself, isn't it?
And that's the problem. Hey, can I ask one more question? Is everybody, what's your name? Tevin? Yeah. Hey, Tevin here. Is it possible that Tevin does not have a basis for reality? Is it possible that he could think he's real, but he's not real? Is that possible? Let me ask this. Is everybody...
There is a reason why...
Anything's possible. Is it probable?
Yeah.
Anything's possible. We'll talk about that in a minute. Hang on.
There's a reason why I'm a scientist and you're not.
There's
a reason why I have a decent knowledge about the functioning of reality and you don't.
When you don't even know that reality exists. But here's my last question, Thunderfoot.
Look.
Last question. Is everybody's reasoning valid?